Hi everybody, it's Sherry. Welcome back to the Rustic South. I've been gone for a little while. I had to take some time off, just a bunch of stuff going on. So today we're going to do a craft that I've been wanting to do for a little while. I had a piece of wood laying around. So we're going to make a new, I put it on my front door, but you guys can put it wherever you may need some wall decor. Um, it's kind of a large piece. It's like 18 and a half inches wide, tall, and like 7¼ inches wide. There's the graphic we're going to use. There's the piece of wood that I'm going to use. I already had it sanded down. So it's starting as a white piece of wood. And this is the graphic that we're going to use on it. I did find this on Facebook from another creator at the Vintage Pebble. So, but I did, or I will incorporate it in the description box um, on my page so that you guys can find it there. But I did find it from her page originally. She had made something with it a few months ago. And I had my husband print it off at the office because our colored printer at home, of course, isn't working. So I'm going to be taking off the edges here. We do not want white edges, right? No. So we're going to go around the edge there with some antiquing wax to tear it apart and give it some frayed edges, and then I'm going to go around and add a little extra along the edge to color up some of that white. I hope everybody's been well. Welcome back to the channel. You know, if you guys have kids, you know school is about to be out here shortly, so summer is about to be in full swing as far as the kids being out of school. So I hope your home life is not as crazy as mine. So here I'm going to spray some water on there because I'm going to flick, if you will, some of that dark antiquing wax onto it, just again to help antique it a little more. You know, I prefer most of my stuff dark or darker. And if you don't, you know, if you're going to print this, you know, don't do that. You know, you can leave that off. You can leave it just the way it is. And while it's wet, also, after I get done doing all these different things on it while it's still wet, I do take it and crumple it up because I do like the crumpled look. I do like the dark look. I like the grungy. But if you don't like any of that, by all means, don't do, you know, all of this stuff that I'm doing. Do to the point on yours what you, the way you like it, okay? So here I'm going to use some Waverly paint because there's orange on one side and I kind of like that look. So I did splatter it a little, but I also do paint a little along the edge of the right-hand side. And I'm blotting it because I don't want just dots sitting there, right? I want it to kind of blend, soak in. You know, maybe it'll make it look like something has been spilled on it. So yeah, so I'm adding a little to the edge on the other side. I like the orange. So today for the project, you're going to need a piece of wood, a printout of any kind of picture you like, or if you have the calendars from Dollar Tree and you like any of those pictures from there, take those and modify them. Or if you have a printout already of like some sheet music or maybe something on the beach or flowers, other kind of flowers, like this I think is are daffodils. And then we're going to need, this is one of those cookie sheets from Dollar Tree. Now this one has holes in it. The one I had holes in it. So, but if you have the ones that's solid, that's fine. You can use that. What I did was I cut a piece of this, or actually I had this one sitting up there and it was like the perfect height. I think it was 5½ inches high by the width, the normal width of the cookie sheet. So we're going to put this on the bottom of the wood to kind of make it like a basket to either put flowers in, or whatever you want to put in there, right? If you have some flowers laying around, or if you'd rather leave it off, or if you'd rather just make it flat to the wood on the bottom and just make it kind of an addition but not a pocket, you could do that as well. But what I do, I'm going to take it outside. Right now I'm just kind of seeing how big I want it, right? That seems to be way too deep, right? So I'm going to make it narrower so that I know where to fold it, kind of start shaping it a little bit. But I am going to take it outside and spray paint it. I spray painted black, and I spray painted a warm caramel. And then I do sprinkle cinnamon and then spray it with a top coat so that the cinnamon adheres to the spray painted piece of aluminum, okay? Or you could also, while the spray paint is still wet, you could also sprinkle on your cinnamon at that point and not. I still would spray it with a top coat because it helps for it to adhere better, and it also makes the cinnamon look more like rust if you spray paint a top coat on the cinnamon once you get it on there. If you've done it before, you'll know what I mean. It doesn't just look like you've sprinkled the cinnamon on it. It kind of gives it kind of takes the brown of the cinnamon and makes it a darker color and helps it look more like rust. Okay. Or, you know, if you don't have any of the cookie sheets at home, you could use canvas bag at home if you have one, or any kind of other can that you might have that might work for this. Maybe you could hammer it and, you know, make it flatter instead of round. Or you could even strictly use cardboard for the bottom of it too, right? So now I'm going to take the picture again. It's still wet at this point, and I'm going to use my distressed oxide in that tea dye color, which is kind of a pink, to rub on the top of it. But you really can't see that it's kind of pinkish. It kind of gives, again, an antique peachy. And then I use some of the dark brown on it as well, the distressed oxide. Yeah, so just take it as far as you want it to go, the distressing of it, you know. You could even take some sandpaper to it. And what I'm going to do, here's a stamp kit, not a kit, but a package I had gotten at Hobby Lobby. I'm going to use it in a minute to add some print on the wood, but I'm taking that pumpkin color from, that's some paint that I got at Dollar Tree, and that was earlier in the year, I would say February-ish, I'm not sure. It's called pumpkin. It's more of a yellow, like a mustard color, but so I took water to kind of water it down a little bit so I could spread it with my palette knife. Why I'm using a palette knife, there's really no rhyme or reason. You could just use a paintbrush. I was contemplating making it thicker with like some baking soda, but I decided not to do that. But I wanted some yellow on the background because the picture has some yellow in it, and I didn't want this just to be all white or all brown, or black. So adding some summer colors on there. And then I take a clothespin. There's some antiquing wax I'm going to now rub on this. I take a clothespin and we're going to glue it to the top of this piece of wood so that we can change the picture out. I was going to originally Mod Podge it on, but I decided, what if I want to change the picture out, right? So I decided to put I think I said paper clip, but it's a clothespin. Sorry. It's a clothespin at the top of the wood. It's already been painted brown. I got them already painted brown. I think they're from Hobby Lobby. You could also chippy up this wood, you know, but I didn't really want to paint it again. And I'm not going all the way down with the color or the antiquing because I'm putting that flower basket of sorts on the bottom piece of the wood, and nor am I painting in the middle because no need to waste product if you're not going to see it anyway. So that's why I'm only doing that top part of this wood. And you know, the calendars from Dollar Tree are a good thing that you could find pictures in. I know a lot of those are cute, although I haven't paid attention to them this year yet. But I have previous years' calendars, and some of them are quite cute in the pictures. So you could always use some of those pictures, you know, as replacements at the top for this, right? Without having to worry about printing anything. The one thing I don't care about those is the shininess of the paper. But you could some way make those look more matte instead of shiny. Maybe some matte Mod Podge over the top might help to mute down the shininess of those. Or maybe some the antiquing wax rubbed on it could help it. So here I'm stamping. I'm using my brown ink pad, and I'm using that stamp that I had showed you earlier in the stamp collection I got at Hobby Lobby, and I'm just randomly stamping it on. There's no rhyme or reason to any place that I'm putting it on. I had been wanting to use it, so I thought we would use it on this. And I kind of felt like this ink, this pad that I'm stamping with kind of mimics the background of the paper that the flowers are printed on. Now don't do this. I did this and then I was like, why did I do that? So that was kind of silly on my part. I was just trying to add a little more depth to it. But what I did do, since it was still wet, I brushed it with my brush, and it kind of just grunged it up a little more. It kind of smeared the ink a little, so it yeah, but I thinking about that again, I wouldn't do that again. So this is stencil I purchased at the Dollar Tree. I don't remember when. It's not been that long ago. So here's the concept I'm kind of going for with the clothespin with there's the paint we're using. It's a Waverly, it's an orange. I'm not sure of the color offhand. Waverly doesn't have too many, you know, orange colors, at least not from what I've seen. So I'm going to do a little embellishment along the side here with these leaves. I thought they kind of added a cute little texture or dimension to the side. See, so we put 3 on here. I know these are kind of popular now too, and they're kind of popular with paint that you like spackle. You could always use spackle on this too, and it would give a little more 3D because it's kind of thick. And I'm using orange again because there's a little bit of orange in the picture. And here's some stars I'm going to put on the bottom, on the little pouch that we're putting on the front. I got these at Hobby Lobby a few weeks ago. I would say about 3 weeks ago. They had 70% off sale, and they were back in the clearance section. And I had never seen these there before. And they had several packages of them, so I bought all of them. And these are the U-shaped nails I'm going to be using to hold that little bottom piece on there. So I decided to glue it because I was going to put it outside, and hot glue in our weather, even though it doesn't get direct sun on it, seems to come apart. So I decided to use nails this time. And please be careful if you're using this metal, these aluminum cookie sheets, because they are sharp. I had no issue this time, but they can be very sharp where you cut those. So I put 2 per side. And then we are going to cut a cardboard bottom for this. But instead, like earlier when I was giving examples what you could use down there, you could use canvas bag. I use a piece of cardboard as the bottom. You could use cardboard for the entire thing. Or if your picture happens to be an oblong picture or a picture that would go the other direction instead of the direction that we're currently using it, you could do it that way again and not have to even put the flower basket on the bottom. So I'm using some tacky glue. Again, the hot glue outside is not going to work that well. And I did use a little bit of hot glue, and just I think 2 or 3 dots of it to just help it adhere faster at this point. And what I do is I glue that on, and then I trim it a little, the cardboard a little more in order to get it just to fit in the bottom of that basket. So I think you'll see me here in a minute trim it a little bit, and then it kind of fits right up in the bottom of it, ever so slightly. And I didn't have to glue it. It was just perfect. Or I trim a little bit on the corner so it will push up in there a little more. It looks like red on your screen, but that's not red. There's no red on the basket, so I'm not sure why that looks red. I think that's cinnamon. And then I did go to Joann's and buy all the flowers you're going to see me use in this. So I'm going to glue this at the top so that the picture is off-centered a little bit, because I want to see the embellishments along the side. And again, I'm just hot gluing the clothespin just so that we can change the picture out. And now back to the stars. So I painted the stars yellow because the flowers were yellow. I normally would do a dark color on them, but I decided that since the background was already dark, that we would put some yellow, but then I grunge up the edges. These stars were so cute. They were so cheap. I think I got a package of like 12 of them for like $1. during this clearance. So I picked up, I think, 3 or 4 packages of them. I bought all of them I could find during that clearance. Then we're going to wire them to the front of that basket here shortly with a piece of rusty wire. Let me take this opportunity to thank everybody for watching the video today. Appreciate it so much, and I hope your summer is starting out awesome. So I'm wrapping the wire around the stars. And we're just going to hang it from the top of the basket. I was going to hang it from the top, and then I end up actually sticking it in a couple of those holes at the top. Again, so that you can remove these. They're not glued on. You can take them off. You can change them at any time to anything else. You know, any other embellishment you might want to put on there at any other time. Like maybe now, maybe you want to put red, white, and blue stars or something on there, or a flag or something. So, you know, run with the concept and put on there what you would like to put on there at any time of the year. So, you know, it's interchangeable, the picture and the stars. Okay, so I think next is, here's the flowers. I use these. I kind of like the feathery look of those. Now, those I don't end up using, but you could if you wanted to. These are alliums. These, I don't know what kind these are. They're light pale yellow and white. So you do see me decorate this right now, but of course, after I turned the video off, I ended up changing the entire thing around, still using the same flowers I put in here right now, but I did move this feathery thing over to the left side and rearrange the flowers a little bit more. I was trying to integrate, kind of trying to mix everything together a little too much, and it wasn't the way I really wanted it in the end. So I did move it around. But that's the one good thing about fake flowers, right? So I hope wherever you are, I hope you are not having any of this crazy bad weather that some places are getting. It just is awful to see everybody with such weather that's been so harmful lately. Between the tornadoes and the rain that some places are getting, and the heat, we are having, you know, heat advisories here in Florida. So, yeah. So wherever you are, I hope you are safe and keeping yourself out of harm's way. And there's our end product. So see, I did rearrange them in a different manner than you just saw me do in the end of that video. So I hope you like today's craft. Change it up, you know, use whatever colors you like. Find a print that you like. There are so many different prints on the internet that you could use for this, right? So find yourself something, and there it is on the front door. I appreciate you so much. Thanks for stopping by the Rustic South today, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.